something good. I know that it might take some.
What's up, Red Wings fans? Welcome to Detroit Red Wings training camp presented by Huntington Bank. We're here at the beautiful Center Ice Arena in Traverse City. It's Friday. I figured out I mentioned yesterday that was Wednesday. We've been up here for a few days. I don't even know what day it is, but I do know, TGIF, it is Friday, and I'm so happy to be joined by People's Announcer, Ken Kal, and Renaissance Man, Art Regner, and then soon we will be joined by none other than Daniella Bruce. So today we're here and we're watching Team Del Vecchio work on specialty teams. We have power play and penalty kill drills running. Woo, that's a tongue twister. Penalty kill drills. We know this is something that the Red Wings suffered last year. It was just not their best area of success. So, Ken, what are you seeing out here with these drills?
Well, we all know that the Red Wings need some help in that department,
Sure.
specialty teams department. And I've always said that if you can get up to 20% on the power play and you can be around 15 or 16th overall in the National League on penalty kill, you're going to make the playoffs. And, you know, as you mentioned, you described right in the open that the Red Wings were 11.8% on the power play last year. That's not going to cut it. And I've always said, too, Art and Carley, that if you can get up to 20%, you're going to win a lot more hockey games. And as a result of that, you're going to be in the playoffs. So, it's not a hard, difficult task, I don't think, going into the season. Last year, the Red Wings struggled. They went through games at times. They went 10, 12 games without scoring a power play goal. They've had many chances. But the thing is if the Red Wings can get 9% better over the course of the season, that's a big improvement.
Well, it certainly is a big improvement. As you said, I actually think the number might have been a little worse. They were 30th in the league, 11.4% was their conversion rate. But, let's face it, it seemed like most of the season last year, they were under 10% on the power play. It was just a thorn in their side. Penalty kill actually started to come on. They were killing off penalties at 78.7%, which was 22nd in the league, and so they were moving up. But really, I think the key right now is Alex Tanguay. Alex Tanguay has been hired to shore up the penalty kill. And when I looked at it, Alex had 863 points in the league in 1,088 games that he played, 244 power play points. 244, 62 goals, 182 assists. So, obviously, talking to Steve in his Zoom call a couple of days ago, asking him about vetting him, and, certainly that they talked power play. They talked about the power play when Alex Tanguay was about to be hired. Steve told him his philosophy. Alex told him his. Jeff Blashill was in on it. So I'm really eager to see what Tanguay comes up with, because, as Ken said, if you can get that power play up to 9% more, that's 20%. Then the Red Wings are going to win a lot more hockey games. Remember, they were in a lot of close games last year.
Right.
A lot of close
Keep
games.
in mind, real quick, guys, that the Red Wings last year missed the playoffs, right?
Yep.
But if their power play is better and you win 7 or 8 more hockey games, let's say you win 8 more hockey games, that's 16 points. You're right on the cusp of making the playoffs.
Without question.
Right.
So penalty kill, power play, we always talk about winning those. If you can win those during the course of a hockey game, then your chances of winning percentage goes up. So
Sure.
This is something that the Red Wings need to improve upon going into the season.
And we have a lot of added elements that should help our special teams this season. But for now, I want to bring in Daniella Bruce, who's checking up with us ringside. Daniella?
First of all, Carly, you're going to need to come up with a nickname for me, because you've got Art Regner, the Renaissance Man, Ken Kal, the People's Announcer, and I'm just like, here's Daniella, so we're going to work on
You're
that.
none other than Daniella Bruce is what I said.
Yes, it was pretty good.
I think I have one, actually.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, boy.
Geez, I don't know if I want
I don't know if I want to hear it
yeah.
either, but
Let's
go ahead,
skip.
Art.
Well, people are going to say I ripped it off from you, too, but I think Daniella should be called The Edge.
The
Okay,
Edge.
I like
Edge.
it.
All right,
Art says
that's
I'm
pretty
rough
good.
around the edges, so he goes with my nickname being The Edge. All right, I like it. All right, anyway. So this morning, I talked to the coaching staff a little bit, and as you guys were mentioning, obviously the Red Wings really want to get better on special teams heading into this season, and it starts here at training camp. Today, it's very basic drills. They're going to be working on the forecheck, and they're going to be working on building a structure. They really want to work on breakouts to make sure these guys know the structure and the foundation of the power play. As the week moves on and as we head into the preseason, we will see them add in some of the other details. They're going to work on face-offs at some point throughout this week, but right now, very basic, just learning that foundation and structure. And I'm going to leave you guys with one more note to get this thing started, because as I said, I talked to some of the coaching staff this morning, and I asked them about Dylan Larkin and Moritz Seider of Team Del Vecchio, because yesterday we saw them out on the ice a little bit longer than everybody else. And they said, well, they can't speak too much to their relationship. They don't know too much about it. But what they do know is that Moritz Seider is currently living with Dylan Larkin, which I think is awesome. Larkin is really taking him under his wing, showing him the ropes. And, hey, that can only help Moritz Seider, especially if he makes this Red Wings roster.
Yeah, no kidding, Daniela. I do know Luke Glendening and Dylan Larkin lived together for a while, so it's almost like you got to take a younger guy under your wing on the Detroit Red Wings team, kind of show him the way and help that bonding experience, because it shows out on the ice what happens in kind of the camaraderie you have in the locker room.
So kind of a chain reaction there, Carly. It looks like Glenny took Larkin under his wing, and now we've got Larkin taking Seider under his wing. I love it.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Daniela. We appreciate it. But speaking of Glendening, he is someone that we lost in the offseason to the Dallas Stars, and he's someone who was a really good really good PKer, penalty killer with Darren Helm. So two guys we lost. Now Darren Helm is with the Colorado Avalanche in that organization. So we have a couple holes that need to be filled on the penalty kill, but when we look at guys that we've added like Pius Suter, he seems to be one of those guys that can fill the voids of losing those two gentlemen.
Well, it's all about competition too, and I look at it as an honor. If you're a penalty killer, you're really helping your team. And I remember going back to the college days with Red Berenson, and he was coaching. He'd always tell he'd get two freshmen out there and say, "You're my two penalty killers. You're the one that needs to get the job done." And to me, you take pride in that, and the team really gets a lift. If you're able to go out there, let's say, and you have to kill 4 or 5 power plays a game, it could be a turning point of the hockey game. So it is an honor to be a penalty killer. With that said, Luke Glendening, we talked about him winning faceoffs. What do you want to do when you're in the defensive zone and starting a penalty kill? You want to win the faceoff, right? You want to gain control of the puck. So the Red Wings have to find some players right now, and I don't think it'll be a difficult task. You mentioned Pius Suter. He did that job in Chicago for a little bit. But the Red Wings can find a couple of good penalty killers along with some defensemen back there that can help out on the PK, and it should be getting better.
Sure. I know we were talking about the penalty kill, not as bad as the not as bad as the power play. It was never really good, but it never really fell apart.
They had trouble, I think, on the road last year on the penalty kill. I think that's where the Red Wings were, that was their Achilles heel. Getting back to really quickly, if you're going to be a penalty killer for Jeff Blashill, there's two things you're going to have to do. You're going to have to win faceoffs. Luke Glendening did that. And you're going to have to block shots. Luke Glendening did that. So I think that whomever wants to be the Red Wing penalty killer, or who's ever looking for that fourth-line center, because your fourth-line center usually is one of your penalty killers, you're going to have to be able to block shots, and you're going to have to be able to win faceoffs. Now I know, I guess I can open up the Traverse City wing of the Mitchell Stevens fan club up here, but in a limited sample size, and I'm not sure how much of a shot blocker he is, but he had a phenomenal face-off winning percentage. And, right-hand shot, which is crucial to the Red Wings. They don't have many, so that's what I'm really looking for. And that might not be something in a drill. We may not see that, but I would expect in the red and white game on Sunday afternoon, which I'm really excited to do, and I know we all are. What time? I think we start streaming at 11 or something? Or?
The game's at noon, the red and white game. You can catch that on DetroitRedWings.com or Red Wings YouTube and Facebook pages. So very excited at the red and white scrimmage. That'll be an inter-squad scrimmage for the Detroit Red Wings.
Right. I'm really excited because, I know a lot of fans chart things at home. When there is a power play for whatever team, the red or the white team, look at the penalty killer. Look who's out there taking face-offs. If they're winning it on the penalty kill, and if the penalty killers are blocking shots, those are the guys that are really making a statement, and that'll be something that'll impress Blashill and his staff. And because obviously Luke Glendening, Darren Helm was also a great penalty killer because of his speed, and he scored a lot of shorthanded goals in his career. So there's two big voids, but obviously there's a lot of competition here in this camp, especially with the forward core. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the power play and the penalty kill shake out.
And Carly, you brought up a good point during the prospects tournament that one of your most effective penalty killers is your goalkeeper. And so you're looking at Alex Nedeljkovic, you're looking at Thomas Greiss this year, and whoever may fill the void if there's injury. your goaltenders have to come up big. They have to. There's only so much your penalty killers can do in front, but your goaltender has to make the big saves. And really, Art, you brought it up late last season. The Red Wings actually improved on the penalty kill. The last, I would say, month of the season, they moved from almost dead last all the way up to 22nd, I believe, in the National Hockey League. So their penalty kill was good. Their goaltenders were good last year. Let's see if that continues and they can get a little bit better this year.
Absolutely. Kind of looking for a little more success on the power play. Art, I know we were talking about Alex Tanguay, who is replacing Dan Bilesma as assistant coach. He is an offensively minded coach, and he had recent power play success with the Iowa Wild. How do you think that could translate here to the Detroit Red Wings team?
Well, we go see a lot of AHL games. The Iowa Wild are a rival of the Grand Rapids Griffins. Actually, I think I saw him play in a playoff series, or it seems every time I was going to Grand Rapids, they ended up playing Iowa or Rockford. But with that said, I think it's going to translate very, very well. Alex Tanguay is not that far removed from being a player, which is always good because he kind of speaks the language. He's still connected to the game. He's not that far removed from actually playing. And I also think I think he was 2 years in Iowa as a Wild assistant. The first year, power play was absolutely tremendous. I think it was second best in the league. The Iowa Wild were clicking on all cylinders. Last year, because it was such a strange year and they only played 4 or 5 different teams and all that, it wasn't quite as good, the Iowa Wild power play. But I kind of attribute that to the fact is you're playing teams 9 times last year, or you're playing them 11 times because of the schedule and traveling and COVID, and some teams didn't play. And so I think after a while, you get to know a team's tendencies if you're playing them that much, which even it makes it that much harder to. I think it makes it harder on the power play and easier on the penalty kill when you play somebody that many times.
Well, I can tell you what the issues were on the power play last year, and it all starts with your entries. And last year, the Red Wings just couldn't seem to get the puck into the zone and were able to set up. And also when they were on the power play, and they actually did get set up in the offensive zone, they were really pushed to the outside, never really got to the inside where you need to be. And when you think back of all the Red Wing teams when they won Stanley Cups, you had a net front presence guy like Thomas Holmstrom, who was a pain to deal with for defensemen in front of the net. The Wings really didn't have a lot of that. And, at times I thought, Art and Carley, that there wasn't really a sense of urgency. Like they would go on a power play, and, you got to get on the attack, and you got to get in that offensive zone set up and do the things where you can get the best shot available, the best chance available to score the power play. If it takes a minute and a half, it takes a minute and a half. You got to win the battles in the corners. You have to control the puck in the offensive zone. Now, with that said, that can be fixed, and a lot of it is confidence too. So if the Red Wings can get going here, get some structure on the power play to start the season, get off to a good start, not fall behind where they score one power play goal in the first 20 opportunities, then they're going to win some hockey games, and they're going to get that confidence back.
Yeah, no doubt. And Nick Leddy's going to be a key. He's going to be a key because he can rush the puck in. He can handle a puck. Yeah, he's he can skate like the wind. He can go end to end. He can set up in the zone. He can do a breakout pass. I mean, if you really look at it, power play goals last year, Bertuzzi, Ernie, and Zadina led the team. They were tied with 3. The one thing that's kind of sad about it is Bertuzzi only played like the first 9 games, and then he was done, and he still ended up tying for the lead in power play goals. Power play points, Philip Hronek had 11. And, that's not very good. And, and I'm not getting down on these guys, but I think they're the first ones to tell you that if the Red Wings are going to make significant strides, the power play has to be better. And Kenny's right. The breakouts last year, there were so many times when, jokingly we'd be watching the game and we'd say, now which team is on the power play?
I know, too many shorthanded goals against the Red Wings.
Is it the Red Wings or, it needs help. It needs help. Obviously the Red Wings knew that. They addressed that needs. They bring in Alex Tanguay, whom, had almost 300 points on the power play as a player, turned Iowa's power play around, the Iowa Wild in the AHL, the affiliate of the Minnesota Wild. So, I'm looking for good things, and I really think there is firepower here. Bertuzzi can stay healthy. Zadina starts to come into his own. Net front presence, I would look at Michael Rasmussen, who's gifted in front of the net, along with Adam Ernie, who, Adam Ernie played power play in Tampa. He didn't play it his first year here in Detroit. Last year, maybe almost because of injury and so many guys were out, that he came back and lo and behold he had a career year. So I'm expecting Adam Ernie to solidify a spot on the power play as well.
So when we talk about success in the power play for this upcoming season, just to break it down, I think the additions of Alex Tanguay, Pew Suter, and Nick Leddy will really help turn this power play around. And I believe when we were talking about Tanguay's Iowa Wild, I think I read that they were 5th in the AHL for power play. So I mean, just climbing up the ranks. And how would an assistant coach be able to help a team? Is it just positioning and running different drills, or how could an assistant coach turn around a power play?
I think just real quick, I just think you have to be creative in the offensive zone. You got to get in there and be creative and be on the attack and look for the best spot and the best chance to score the goal.
All right, and I hear that we have a power play, a guy who could turn the power play around.
Nick Leddy, one of our newest Red Wings. Nick, it's great to meet you. Can you go ahead and give me your first impressions of Red Wings training camp here in Traverse City?
It's been good. We've had some hard-working practices, and today we worked on a little special teams, which it's huge throughout the season.
What made the power play good with the New York Islanders?
It's been a good start.
You mentioned the special teams, and we talk about it a lot. The Red Wings power play struggled last season, and there's a lot of talk about you being someone who can improve that. Just talk about your skills on the power play and how comfortable you are running one.
I think for me, just bringing the puck up, I think that will help, zone entries and getting the puck in. But other than that, I'm just trying to move across the blue line and support the other guys. And when I'm able to shoot, I'll shoot.
And you spent some time working with Moritz Seider in the past couple of days. He's a really exciting young prospect for Red Wings fans. What has it been like working with him? And do you hope you get to mentor him?
Yeah, it's awesome. As you said, he's a heck of a player. And I'm finally getting to see that, and for him, he's got so much skill, and he's got the size, he's got the reach. He's going to be a very good player.
Well, again, welcome to Detroit, Nick. Thank you so much, and good luck the rest of camp.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daniella and Nick Leddy. Great to hear from him. That's actually the first time I've heard from him since he joined the Detroit Red Wings organization. As we were talking about, a great addition for the Detroit Red Wings special teams is Nick Leddy. Just the career he's had on the power play and penalty kill.
Well, one of the things I'd wanted to ask him is what made the New York Islanders power play and penalty kill so effective.
Right.
And I can tell you one thing, they were always a good defensive team. Gary Trotz is going to have his penalty killers doing a pretty good job. But the other thing on offense, Art, is when you have a guy like Matt Barzal who can just dominate, whether it's penalty killing or in the offensive zone, I mean, that makes a difference. I can go back in the years when Marcel Dion was first a Detroit Red Wing. He holds a record, team record, Marcel Dion, for 10 shorthanded goals in one season.
Wow.
He did that, I believe, in 1975. 10 shorthanded goals. You get a guy like Matthew Barzal, that can really make a difference on the power play or the penalty kill. So, maybe one of the guys I'm looking to step up on the power play, Art, is Philip Zadina, because he does have the shot, and if you can set him up in the right spots, he can beat a goaltender.
Right. Philip Zadina is a great one, and I think eventually, maybe not this coming season, but maybe a Matthew Barzal type who seems to have those intangibles and is able to make plays offensively would be Lucas Raymond.
Yep.
And Jonathan Berggren, too. He also is a very gifted playmaker. So, I mean, there's help on the way, whether it helps, whether it comes this year or not. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I think that Zadina, I expect a breakout year for him. And, I know, we wish Anthony Mantha luck, but I always used to get under Mantha's skin because I'd always tell him, best shot on the team is Zadina's. and he would get a little angry at me. Jokingly, we kind of laugh about it, but Philip Zadina has a lot of potential. I thought last year was a good year, a coming out year where he established himself as an everyday Red Wing, as an everyday player. Now he has to take that next step offensively. And one way to get a goal scorer going is to score goals on the power play. That gets his confidence up, and that'll make his 5-on-5 game even that much better.
And let's not forget, too, and we haven't really talked about him, Carly and Art, is Jacob Vrana. And Vrana had a really good season coming over from the Washington Capitals in that trade for Anthony Mantha. And he's a guy that can find put the biscuit in the basket, and he usually plays on the point on the power play, so he can help out as well.
He's a good guy to capitalize on scoring opportunities and chances. But, all right, when we talk about Tyler Bertuzzi, what makes him so effective on the power play?
Because he'll go anywhere to score. I mean, we talked about Matthew Barzell in a strange sense, maybe not as skilled as Matthew Barzell, but Bert goes to the greasy areas, he goes to the dirty areas, and he scores goals. He just gets the job done. He'll go in the corner, he'll get that puck, he'll go to the net, he'll fight in the scrum, go goal mouth stand, boom, boom, boom. He's all over the place. I mean, he's really, really good that way, and that's what they miss, quite frankly. The one player that missed Bertuzzi the most last year was Dylan Larkin. Dylan's numbers fell off a cliff last year, and a lot of that, and I think he had 1 power play goal and maybe 3 power play points total. Well, when your best player is struggling like that on the power play, you're not going to win many hockey games, and so I expect Dylan to really, be reunited with Bertuzzi to have a good year 5-on-5 offensively. But also, I think that power play is going to click because Dylan Larkin's the type of guy, and we've already talked about it, where he kind of studies everything. He figures out, okay, why wasn't I as effective, and he alters his game to become effective. So, and I think one of the things, and he would never say this, and I'm not making excuses for him, but without Bertuzzi last year, the whole team offensively, especially on the power play, fell off. That's going to be a big help. Nick Leddy's going to be a big help. Mo Sider's going to be a big help. Michael Rasmussen has confidence, signed him to a 3-year deal. He's net front presence is going to be big. Adam Ernie had a career year. He wants to pick up where he left off. He has power play experience. You've got Alex Tanguay here, who was a power play, I don't know if so much a specialist. He's gifted offensively for the when he was a player. So, I mean, it's coming together. How long it's going to take, I don't know. But I'm really eager to see, especially at that red and white game coming up this Sunday. We'll see which will be streaming live. I'm really eager to see, even though it's only been a week or so, what Tanguay has been able to do to the power play, how the penalty kill is coming together.
And let's just hope the referees call some penalties in that game, because a lot of times in a red-white game you don't see the special teams.
You know what? I was just thinking that too, Ken. You're absolutely right. I have a sneaky feeling though that Steve Yzerman or Jeff Blashill is going to get in their ear and force them to call something, because they're going to want to see the power play. They're going to want to see their penalty kill.
Absolutely, and I do love when Art gives a shameless little plug. Again, red and white game on Sunday at noon. But, we've been talking a lot about training camp. I'm excited to see these guys in game action. A lot of guys we didn't get to see, like Tyler Bertuzzi last year, and a lot of great additions. So we will be returning to Little Caesars Arena with fans September 30th as the Wings take on Buffalo. Like I said, at Little Caesars Arena. We're streaming on DetroitRedWings.com, and additional preseason games against the Columbus Blue Jackets, Pittsburgh Penguins, and Chicago Blackhawks are on sale now. So for more information and to get your tickets, of course, visit DetroitRedWings.com. Ken.
You know what, Carly, really quick, I love all the comments on Facebook and YouTube whenever we do a stream or wherever we cover a prospects tournament. Unfortunately, on the 30th, it's only going to be on the Red Wings website only. So I'm going to miss your comments out there on Facebook and YouTube.
But, of course, thank you for setting me up, Ken.
I'm not going to miss him so much.
Y'all are so mean to Art in the comments. We love Art, but
they love Ken. Let's put it that way.
Art and I get some comments. Ken gets all the love. But make sure you're tweeting any comments that you have out there with the hashtag LGRW with a chance to make it on this stream here. But as we start wrapping up practice today, I know we have a lot to look forward to. Still a lot of hockey left to be had, but one name that we've mentioned a couple times that we haven't really got to see on the stream because we've seen Team Del Vecchio the past couple days, but on Team Howe, we have Pius Suter, who is a name we've mentioned that will help on the special teams. But what do you think he could bring to the team as a whole, Ken?
Well, I think he can play both the power play and the penalty kill and be effective on a regular shift. And if he can do what he did with Chicago last year, he scored a hat trick against Detroit. I think he had 5 total goals against the Red Wings last year. He's going to help out this team, Art.
There's no question, and I think even though we forget, there's kind of we jokingly we have the Czech mafia here, as we're saying, and then if you look, we have the Guelph Storm a little bit here too. Robbie Fabre, Pius Suter, and also Tyler Bertuzzi were all teammates, and they all kind of play together. Are they going to have them reunited? I'm not sure, but but it's always good. He has some familiarity. He has played well against the Red Wings, he being Suter. So I'm eager to see what he can do. He was playing with some premier wingers. Let's not kid ourselves. Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat. Both are at least 30 goal scorers a year, if not 40, and so I'm sure that settled him down. But if he's a guy that can distribute the puck, score on his own, and he proved last year that he could, but he had more assists than he had goals, that is going to be quite a find. And I think that put him on a wing with a Fabre, that should be pretty darn good.
You know what? If you can't beat him, bring them onto the team, right?
That's right.
If they're a thorn in the side of the Detroit Red Wings, why not make them a Detroit Red Wing? Well,
kind of like New Power, right?
Yeah, why? Like New Power's the same way.
So tough against the Griffins.
He was tearing it up against the Griffins. Steve said, "Hey, I've seen enough of this dude. Let's bring him aboard."
All right, well, we're so excited to show you guys some more hockey, some more new faces around the Detroit Red Wings organization. We will be back streaming for the rest of the weekend. And again, do not miss the red and white scrimmage on Sunday at noon. And again, preseason's just right around the corner. So a lot of fun still left to be had. Thank you so much for joining Ken Kal, Art Regner, Daniella Bruce, and myself here at Center Ice Arena. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, let's go Red Wings.